Hey everyone, Torvald here. This is the second video following up on the last video I made where I'll show you how to extract basic resources, turn them into T1, and then do the collection. This video I'll be covering how to take those materials and build them into higher tier stuff so you can actually start making some money and really getting your planetary interaction chain going and start being productive. So I've already started here. I've got my gas planet here. You don't need to worry about, whenever you're setting this up, you don't need to worry about scanning resources. This is just a production planet. So I've already set it up here a little bit, but I'll show you again how I do it. So again, command structure, command facility, I put it in the center. That way when I click on the planet, it centers my production chain right here. And then go ahead and put the launch pad. So once I'm done, fully done setting this up, I'll have 4 little branches here. Put a launch pad there. And then advanced industry facilities. That's how you create the higher tier stuff. So you put that. I put 3 of them. So there we go. Got that. Now I want to link them. So click that. Create the link between all of them. And boom, they're all linked. Now I want to set them to start producing. Start the jobs. So here we go. For this center one, this is going to be producing robotics. Out of the 3, this will be the robotics production. So I'm going to double click that and then route it to the launch pad. So boom, that one's producing robotics and it's sending the completed material to the launch pad. For these 2 right here, this one's going to be the 2 materials you need to produce robotics: consumer electronics and mechanical parts. So this facility, I'm going to have it create consumer electronics. Double click that, put it in the launch facility, go here. This one's going to create mechanical parts. Double click that, put it in your launch facility. And there you go. So we have it all set up here. We have all this stuff linked and automated. So now these 3 facilities are producing stuff, but they need input material. So here we go. We're going to go here, access the customs office of the planet, and then you open your ship hold where you have your material that you've been collecting. And here's where you'll start to drag and drop the material. So you'll see here, I have 2 launch pads here in this drop down menu because I have 2 launch pads here. This is the empty one right here. And here's the one that has material actually in it that is actually actively producing stuff. So I'm going to go to this empty one and you can see the names correlate. So if you're confused, launchpad H5-PCG, H5-PCG, good to go. Now the way I have this set up is where I do total, I'll pull 24,000 of each material, of each of the 4 materials, and I'll break them up into groups of 6,000. And that's because if you take it, so here you got all 1 of each stack, drag and drop to the customs office. You have to be near the customs office in space, and then you select all of them, put them in the launch pad. You'll see the tax down here, very important to pay attention to tax. Hit transfer. And there you go. Now the material is in this facility. You saw that blue line just fill up. You can go here to storage. And you can see now that this facility now has these in them. Taxes, let me hit on that real quick before we get any farther. Very important that you pay attention to taxes. That will add up a lot on your planetary production. Especially on this planet where you're actually producing and exporting your higher tier stuff. You want the lowest tax possible. If you're in a corporate alliance that has its own customs office, you'll be looking for like less than 5%. If they have more than 5%, they're kind of gypping you. But yeah, you should be looking at less than 5%. I'm using a random one where I don't know the owners, and I've got 11% tax, which is high, but you know, we'll take it. So now you see I got my materials here. We've got these facilities that are requiring materials, and now I get to route them just like before. Double click on them and then send them where you want to go. So consumer electronics takes chiral structures, toxic metals, and the mechanical parts takes precious metals and reactive metals. And now that I've routed all these, there we go. You see these are no longer red. They're now producing. They are pulling that material from the launch pad and they're sending the completed product, the consumer electronics, they're sending back to the launch pad. So now for robotics, we've set up robotics to start producing, but it needs the input material. Since we don't have the input material here already, but it's set to produce, so we can click on this as routes. This is the incoming and outgoing materials. They'll show you all the numbers and everything. Here you can see you have 5 consumer electronics incoming and 5 mechanical parts incoming. You can click on that. So click on consumer electronics, create route, and double click on that. And then same thing for the mechanical parts, create route. Click on that, and there we go. We have just told this facility to pull all the materials you need from here. So what we require is 10 units of each of these tier 2 materials. So if we go here, this is producing 5 units every hour. So in 2 hours, when there are 10 units in here, it'll pull to this one and start producing robotics at 3 units per hour. And that's completely automated. You don't have to touch anything. Now that you've got this set up, all you have to do is once this material right here runs out, that's in your launch pad, and you've got all of your robotics completed. So I know with my 6,000 of each material, I know I'll come back in a couple days and there'll be 225 robotics in this one launch pad. Once I have all 4 set up, total there'll be 900 robotics ready for me to pick up. And then I'll just go to my storage. I'll pull 24,000 of each of my base materials out, split them up into 4 stacks of 6,000 each, and do it all over again. I like to correlate mine with, like, I don't time mine down exactly. So every couple days, I'll log on to a character and reset all these planets right here because their extractors run out. Mine I set the 6 days, so before that 6 days is up, I go and I reset them, and then usually around that time is when I'm ready to do my robotics and pick up and drop off and everything. So yeah, it lines up nicely. It's real easy. Per character total, you're spending maybe 10 minutes resetting all the extractors, getting all the materials out, doing the transport. And again, you are in danger when you're on this customs office. This is actually one of the most dangerous parts of the whole operation, other than when you're jumping gates. I'd say jumping gates is the most dangerous, especially if you're out in nullsec. But right here, when you're dealing with your transporting and stuff, someone could pop up. Again, if you have materials, so here you are, you're doing the transfer. If you have stuff in your hold, if you have your, if you're doing your pickup, you have your robotics or whatever you're producing, just take them, drop them to the customs office. That way, if you die, you lose your ship, all your materials are safe, you have nothing to worry about. And you're just down your little, T1 industrial that costs no more than 2 million is, depending on what you got in it. It's easy as that. And I cannot stress enough, pay attention to the tax. Again, if you're in a nice corporate alliance that has all their POCOs and they have their a good tax rate, you're not looking any higher than 5%. But you definitely don't want to be spending, you don't want to be looking at 15-20%. That's really high. Once this is done here, so once all these, the 6,000 turns into 225 robotics, once I have that 225 robotics right here and I drag and drop them over here, my transfer cost is roughly 1.4 million ISK. So when I go through and I do the all 900 from all 4 launch pads that I'll have set up, I'm looking at roughly like 5-6 billion ISK just for that one transfer. And that's not even including how much it costs to transport these over. Every little time you do a transfer, it costs ISK. So you got to make sure you have that money, and you want to make sure you're not paying too high of a tax. But that's it for this. Really easy setup. Like I said, once you get everything, once you do this initial setup, it's easy. You don't have to click any more buttons on this. You just let this run. All you got to do is do this transfer every couple of days and let things just produce at a normal rate. Really good way to make money by doing nothing, really. Like 5-10 minutes a day on a character can, pump out some ISK that you don't really have to do that much for. So hopefully this video has answered any questions you have. If you have any more questions or you'd like to know more information, comment on the video and let me know, and I'll get a hold of you and we can talk about it. And again, there's so many different ways to do planetary interaction. There's so many different ways to set it up, different styles, different efficiencies and whatnot. I like this. This is my way. It's not the best by any means, so don't think this is the way you have to do it. If you find a better way to do it, you find something that fits you or fits how you want to do it more, do that. This is just showing you how easy it is and what you can do to just start making money by basically not doing anything but 5 minutes a day. So thanks for watching. And again, if you have any questions, let me know. If you like my content, I'm trying to pump out videos regularly. Abyssal PvP and PvE is my main source, but I just wanted to do this planetary interaction stuff on the side to show people how good it is, even though that's maybe not a good idea, because then now more people's going to do it and I'm going to make less money. But hey, I guess helping people's good, right? All right, guys, thanks for watching, and see you in space.